What's up?
What's up? I'm trying to eat and set up my phone and my. Okay, so who did you invite in today?
Well, I sent the link out to. Hold on one second. Sent the link out to. What's up?
What's up? I'm trying to eat and set up.
Hold on one second.
I had to lower the volume.
Okay.
Make sure the volume on your phone is down.
Okay, that's all. So I sent the link out to quite a few people. Okay. Nothing to see here. Nothing to. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I invited quite a few people out to come in and enjoy and join us for this. This. You said what?
I didn't say nothing. I said.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You already started with me?
You said what?
I said you already started with me? I ain't say nothing.
No, I didn't start yet. I'm waiting for you to come in. But we're Facebook Live.
I see.
Okay, you see. Okay.
I pulled it up so I can see the comments.
Okay, cool.
So I wish there was a way we could pin the subject to the StreamYard. It says live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on the screen. How can you take that out? Okay, we know it's going to show up.
Let me see.
Pin the subject to StreamYard. StreamYard, this is an example. Click on a comment to show it on the screen. How can you take that out? Okay, we know it's going to show up.
Oh, you got some people coming in. What up, Sarah? You see who coming in, right?
No, I can't see him. Is my
This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on the screen. How can you take that out? Okay, we know it's going to.
So you got quite a few people in here right now.
All right, I can't see now.
Okay.
Okay, so good. Hey, Sarah, you joining us again?
Yep, got Sarah in.
Okay, so
Antoinette, what's up, Antoinette Reynolds? Got Venetia.
Okay, so you know we're gonna be, and excuse my chomping, but I'm hungry. So you know we're gonna be having to repeat the subject several times. So the subject is basically on the heels of what happened. In case you guys don't know, I'll fill you in really quickly. On the heels of what happened during Diddy's virtual dance party fundraiser. Diddy was basically doing a fundraiser on his Instagram Live where people were checking in with him and he was dancing in the background with his children and the people were dancing in their homes. So Lizzo joined his Instagram Live and started twerking to a song that had a lot of curse words. So Diddy ran in the frame and was like, stop. You know what I mean? It's Easter Sunday, it's family friendly only. So Lizzo was like, oh, my bad, so play something that, I could jam to or whatever. So basically, long story short, Diddy stopped her from twerking. He was like, whoa, wait, it's too much, it's Easter Sunday. So the reason why he is facing criticism now by Black Twitter, and Black Twitter is like one of the major cancel culture components. Black Twitter is like they're the cancel culture gods. So they're mad at Diddy because Drea, video vixen Drea, girlfriend to rappers and R&B stars, right? Reality show star Drea, she came in later on that night and was twerking as well to back that ass up. And Diddy didn't stop her. So now we're back in the fat shaming debate. Like, why did Diddy stop Lizzo from twerking, but he applauded and joined in when Drea?
I didn't see that.
So today's subject is, do we put ourselves out there, right, and unrealistically expect no judgment? So that's today's subject. Do we all put ourselves out there, our selfies, our work, or some of us our films, our poetry, our hip hop, or whatever it is that we do? Even if it's a simple selfie. at whatever weight, right? Because I have a theory, but I want to hear from you guys first. Whatever weight, whatever you look like, whoever you are, do we unrealistically continuously put ourselves out on a public platform and not expect to be judged? Are we hypersensitive? Was it that Lizzo was dancing to a song that was just too extreme? I heard the song. Of course, it was the usual hip hop, bitches, hoes, this, that, right? And who knows? Maybe Back That Ass Up isn't seen as bad as what Lizzo was twerking to. Now, I watch both videos because I like to see what I'm talking about. First of all, when the fuck are we gonna stop twerking? That's one. So I'm already like, when the fuck are we gonna stop twerking? Like, what else do Black women do? Like, can we just like, it's like Black women twerk, you know what I mean? It's like, I know we have other talents and gifts, and even when we're having fun, I'm far from a prude, okay? I'm as freaky as the rest of them. But you know, it seems like twerking and Black women is synonymous, right? We see it all over Instagram. So I'm over the twerking anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't care whose twerk was accepted and whose twerk wasn't, because in my opinion, it's stupid at this point, right? But we know it's big on social media. So do you think it was wrong for Diddy to stop Lizzo from twerking, but then celebrate Drea from twerking? And let's be clear, Diddy said that the only reason he stopped her, he was, I had nothing to do with her body. The only reason he stopped her was because it was early. He had his kids, you know, on, and the song that Lizzo was twerking to it was explicit. So what do you guys think about that? Do we put ourselves out there? Lizzo puts herself out there, right? Like every other woman. Like we all. But why is it? Here's my theory, and y'all gonna get mad. But here's my theory. My theory is that big women, fat women, thick women, BBWs, I noticed there's a trend where they want to put themselves on social media and they don't want judgment. But yet they're putting themselves out there exactly like the skinny girls are. So when the skinny girls put themselves out there, you know, they tell us all kinds of shit. Eat a burger, you skinny. Don't nobody like, you know, men like meat on their bones. You know, they say all kinds of shit to skinny women. But it seems fat women want a pass for being fat. They want to put themselves out there and they don't want critique. They're like, you're going to take these roles. You're going to take this cellulite, and you're going to like it. You're not going to tell me I'm fat. So is there a double standard? But, you know, the umbrella question is, do we put ourselves out there and unrealistically expect everyone to accept us and embrace us? Are we being hypocritical? Like, I'm putting myself out there, but don't judge me. So what do you guys think? And also, if you want to come on, Mark will send you the link if you want to be on the panel like we had last night.
The link is also in the comment section. I mean, the comment section is also in the heading. So if you all want to come on, just hit the link.
Yes, please come on. So I'm going to, let me see if. Let
me ask you this. So you said Drea, right? That's the light skinned girl, right?
Yes.
Okay, so did she twerk? She was twerking during a night or something? It was different times or at the same time, or how did that?
He said that, you know, Drea came on much later at night.
Oh, okay.
So it's different than, say, according to him, Lizzo twerking mid-afternoon on Easter Sunday.
Okay, I can see that.
To that song. The song was pretty, you know, I mean, the song was regular hip hop, bitch, hold this, fuck. Right. And you know, I'm not a fan of the twerking thing anyway, but in watching both videos, Lizzo's twerk and Drea's twerk, you know, Lizzo, in my opinion, fat or not, Lizzo goes out of her way to be extra raunchy, in my opinion. Like in the video, she's bent over, it was like half twerk, half simulating getting fucked from behind.
Well, it's a big difference.
That's what it looked like to me, right? She was bent over, like she was out the frame, and all you saw was her ass like grinding, like she was getting hit from the back. So Diddy was like, wait, yo. So, but people are still saying, well, Drea twerked, you know. So why didn't you stop Drea?
So what do you think? Why do you think he didn't stop her?
I think it was because even though the song says "back that ass up," I think we all of us, like, we're so used to that song, and it is. People say, "Oh, that's not family friendly," but it is. Right? They play it at barbecues, at kids' parties. You know, back that ass up, right?
Right.
I really do think he didn't stop her, and I'm assuming here. I don't fucking know, did he? Right? I'm assuming that he didn't stop her because it didn't look as raunchy as what Lizzo was doing, and plus it was nighttime. And plus, it was a very familiar song. Like, if you watch the video where Lizzo was twerking, the song, it was pretty bad for Diddy to have his, you know, kids in the background. And it was kind of shocking, but I think that that's what Lizzo goes for. That is her intent. You know what I mean? I'm going to shock you with this thing I'm going to do. But then when she gets criticized, you know, the tears come and you're fat shaming. And I'm going to be completely honest. I think she uses it as her gimmick. I think Lizzo uses her being fat shamed as a gimmick because there's always an article about her being fat. There's always a video. There's always tears about it. And I think it's a big part of her gimmick because shaming now it's a big deal on social media and you could go viral. If I post a viral like, oh my God, they were shaming me because of my forehead, then 1,000 people come in and say, don't do that. You know what I mean? So I think it's a pub stunt on her part. That's my opinion.
Yes.
But I will be quiet now. Hi, who is this? Yeah, take that out so we can see people's names.
Oh, you can't see me?
I can see you fine. I can see you.
You said take what out?
There's like this thing that says StreamYard viewer comments show up and she.
Oh
yeah. I put quarantine tea.
Oh, now I can see you. Okay, Carl.
I didn't even know that. I mean, okay. So
hi, welcome.
Hey, Jen.
You want to tell people who you are so people can know who you are?
Sure. How formal do I have to be?
Very.
Hey, everybody. I'm Toya. I'm a producer of Black and Privileged. Producer of Everyday But what is it called? Everyday But Christmas. Something like it's been a while.
Nothing like that.
Everyday But Christmas. Yeah. So filmmaker, writer, director, producer, and quarantine tea until they tell us we can get out the house. So wait, so you got to get me up to speed. What's the conversation?
You said what?
What's the conversation? What are we talking about tonight?
You were watching?
I was working.
Okay.
But I'm ready.
I'll try to condense it. So basically, we were talking about how Diddy did a virtual Instagram.
Oh yes, enough said. Yep, I'm already caught up.
The Lizzo and stuff. So I'm like, do we put ourselves out there unrealistically expecting not to be judged? Are we hypersensitive?
Well, you know what's this was my take on it. And maybe I'm a little old school about the whole idea. I totally agree with it. It's a gimmick, and my forehead is so shiny. Lord, jeez. That possibly it's at this point in time. Bad news is good news, right? So what I mean by that is the negative of the assumption that Diddy told her to stop because she was twerking is turned into conversation, is turned into publicity again. So again. So I totally agree with what you said there. Now, this is my concern or issue. And again, this is where I feel like maybe I'm too old school. So Diddy's having a dance-a-thon. He's having a dance-a-thon with his sons. He's having a dance-a-thon with his daughters. And this is supposed to be raising money for the nurses, the doctors, the essential workers who are obviously keeping us all healthy and safe.
And he raised 3 million plus. He's
raising money. So if your natural instinct is when he puts on a song, is to, yeah, he was playing the music.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so he was playing the music. So if your natural instinct, and I'm not even talking about just Lizzo, I'm just talking about as a woman in general. Oh. If your natural instinct is to bend over and bust it wide open, or back it up or do your thing, just know that by itself, I'm questioning, because again, this is supposed to be something completely different than what you've now just turned it into. With that being said, when he turned the music off and Diddy, I saw his message when he said, Well, I didn't tell her she couldn't twerk. I was just saying that the music had a lot of swearing and profanity in it, and so it wasn't anything against her. I did believe him in that regard a little bit, but I also wonder, like, okay, Lizzo, twerking cannot be your go-to. You are so talented. You are so phenomenal. You're so amazing. And yet you want us to only see you from your ass. And that's what I don't understand, because she is so amazing. She can twerk all day. I don't mind that. But I always feel like the only time I hear about her is when she's twerking. And I follow her on social media, and every other scroll is her ass. I'm like, that's not your best attribute. And I'm not saying it because she don't have a beautiful ass. I don't care. It's not my preference. But I say that from the standpoint of you have so many other attributes, and yet that just seems to be the natural attention getter move. That's my take on that.
Do you think in general, overall, we all put ourselves out there and then get upset when someone comes to critique us? Do you think we're hypersensitive, or do you think people are extra mean?
I think it's both.
Mm-hmm.
I do think people are extra mean. No doubt about it. Obviously, when Drea Michelle went on Diddy's Dance-a-thon and did the same exact thing, she twerked too, different body shape. She didn't have the same backlash to twerking as Lizzo did.
It was a different twerk, though.
Wait, first of all, when Lizzo twerked, I didn't even see her face no more. All I saw was
what happened? Like, why? What just happened?
all you saw was her ass. That was it. I would definitely say Drea twerk was a little more mild mannered. But nonetheless, it's as women, we just have to know, like, if you put it out there, you're gonna get it in both ways. You're gonna get the applause, and you also gonna get the sad ass.
Now, what do you think about fat shaming? Do you think, because I don't know if you heard my theory, I feel like bigger women put themselves out there. Some of them go online in bikinis, some of them, and the minute you say to one of them, you need to go on a diet or get you a salad. Like, I use me for example. I'm very petite. If I post a bikini picture, the first thing I get is, you need a cheeseburger. Men like meat on their bones, so, and that's been going on for years. Do you think that bigger women, do you think that they're expecting, I'm gonna put myself out there and I don't want you to tell me anything about it, roll, cellulite and all? Do you think there's a double standard?
I definitely think it's a double standard. So I'll say, as a petite woman myself, I find that people are more comfortable telling someone who is petite that they are skinny, that they need to eat, that they need to gain weight, that they're not thick enough, that they this, that, and the other. But you cannot say anything about someone who is bigger in size. You are instantly ridiculed and assumed that you are fat shaming. And I think this is the one instance where women who are more petite actually get a worse rap than women who are not.
Mm-hmm. Very, 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 very true.
So, yeah, I've definitely
Lizzo was on Tory Lanez live twerking too. Sarah said Lizzo was on Tory Lanez live twerking too. Sarah, you coming on?
So,
yes,
what was that last comment you said about petite women? They get what now?
I said, I think this is an example in which petite women actually get more ridiculed than women who are larger in size, because society is comfortable with calling a woman skinny, with saying she's too thin, with saying she needs to eat, she's not thick enough. But you cannot say that same, you cannot have that same viewpoint about someone who's of bigger size. You can't sit there and be like, oh my gosh, she's fat. She needs to gain weight. I mean, she needs to lose weight. Society has said you cannot say that about heavy set people. You can say whatever you want about somebody who's skinny.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I honestly can say I don't know why that is. I think maybe the comfort of I don't know. It's actually something that I've always experienced, but I've never quite figured out why people feel like, if you are of a smaller size that you that you should be pointed the finger at. And it might be just the fact that, you know, society is of a certain size. And so, you know, the reality is everyone is not small and petite. And so we project, you know, on other people. I mean, shit, I feel like that's what we do all damn day.
I think it's because, to answer your question, Mark, I think it's because, like quarantined tease that, you know, society, they celebrate skinny women, right? They're on magazines, they're in the ads. I mean, even workout commercials, it's already a skinny chick. Exercise bites, it's already a skinny chick.
Right.
And that's celebrated. So I think that people feel okay attacking smaller women because they feel like, well, you have the upper hand anyway. So fuck your feelings.
So what people though? Let me ask you, what people attack smaller women? Bigger women?
All kinds
in general. Women and I was gonna say men and women.
What man? What? Let me ask you. What man? Okay, let's keep it.
Oh
real.
shit! Here he goes.
If you two post a picture on social media, right? In a bikini, have you all ever received criticism from a man?
Well, let me clarify, Mark, because I'm conservative, so it ain't like I didn't post it that much.
I'm saying if. That's what I said.
But no,
I've done the bikini, but I want Toya.
But I was gonna say I don't even have to say the if. I can say I have been out in the general public. I've been in clubs where men have literally come up to me and be like, "You beautiful, but you need more meat on your bones." Like. I'm not
Corey, come in here.
Corey's in the lobby. No, this is Mark. This is a real thing. That's
Corey, come in.
So Toya, you telling me you were somewhere? You were
Absolutely.
And
absolutely,
guys trying to highlight you, but they say you need some meat on your bone.
Absolutely,
Mark. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you what happened to me.
Mark, it's true.
Yeah.
With my first, what I thought was my first love, right? He was telling me, right? Like he wanted to break up with me, and I didn't understand it. I was like, why you want to break up? I was young, right? And he was like, all right, I'm gonna tell you. I like thicker women. And I was like, 2 years later, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? So
right.
Now, long time after that, he said that he never meant that. He just didn't know what to say to get out of the relationship. But let me tell you, this is like 30 years later, it's stuck like glue. I never forgot it. I never forgot it. So my whole life, I was like, I gotta be thicker. Now, as you know, women of color, women in our family are thick. It's rice, chicken, ham hocks, biscuits, everybody. If you, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you eating, child? You know, we do that everywhere we go. So to be the petite woman in a culture where unless you're thick, you're sick.
Right.
You know what I mean? We hear it our entire lives. And I by no means I'm playing a violin because I know all the big girls are like, oh, whatever, skinny bitch. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, not a victim. I was gonna say not a victim at all. Hey, Corey.
Right.
Not a victim by no means, but definitely as far as where do people find the most comfort in ridiculing, it definitely will be towards a skinny woman publicly before it will be comfortably about someone who's larger.
Absolutely.
So don't you all think there's a difference between like a skinny woman and a woman who's petite with curves?
I think so, but most people don't think so. They just like you're skinny.
Okay, so I need you to do me a favor. I need you to do me a favor, Latoya Hunter.
What?
We have Corey on the line now. Can you repeat what you just said to us?
What up, Corey?
What up, quarantine T?
Hey.
Corey. So they saying, let me know your thoughts. They saying that the two of them, repeat what y'all just said. I
heard what they were saying.
You want to come in, Akiba?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't hear the topic though.
Now listen. Now, Akiba, you got that $1 million body. So I want to hear what you got to say.
I don't know the topic.
Oh, you're just coming in. Okay.
I just chimed in. Yeah.
Yes, no, we first were talking about Lizzo and the twerking on Diddy's dance-a-thon, and we're now talking more about society being more comfortable in shaming skinny women about their size than necessarily larger women publicly.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think all women are beautiful. I don't know what it is about people shaming skinny women. I mean, everybody has their own beauty at their own level.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see anything wrong with anyone being skinny. I don't see anything with people being thick or whatever. I think it has a lot to do with what they portray in music videos, possibly. A lot of people, they look at these music videos, they see these females twerking and, the thick women and the men praising the thick women. And I think it gets into a lot of females' heads, especially the young females. Young females are very impressionable. So whatever it is, they need to steer away from it.
Right. Well, you know what? I'll go back to what Jen said earlier about our families. If you're the skinny one in a Black family, you're going to get some heat.
I think we need to distinguish between skinny and petite with curves.
Tell me, why does that matter most to you?
Because there's a big difference. You can look at a woman and say, we can look at a woman and say she's skinny. That means like she's straight up and straight down. Then we look at a woman who's petite, like, man, she
well, okay, I'll say that. Well, but okay, in fairness, everyone has their own preference. So even if we sit here and say petite with curves, the next person may still say that she's skinny. Like everybody has their own visual of what thin is, what petite is, what petite with curves is, what's thicker, what's not. We all have that perception. So what I will say, I have found as someone who no longer eats like chicken and beef and turkey. For my family, they look at me and be like, you should be eating more because you are skinny. Like the idea of not eating traditional Black food has my family concerned
eat them chitlins.
that I am going to be skinnier than I already am. Whereas
it's generational.
It's very generational.
Sorry.
Because I agree, because when I see what my family eats, I have family members who will still eat chitlins. I still have family that will still eat ham hocks and all the things that we already know you should not be eating. They do. And they're not the ones who people talk about. I'm the one that they question and be like, your size and what you're eating and so forth. So it's not just, men in clubs. I do think it's from, from how we all view what is healthy and what's unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like Mark, what you're talking about. I feel, my opinion, when I look in the mirror, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm a little slim goody. You know what I'm saying? I'm about 110, 115 pounds with some quarters in my pocket, right? But when I go to my family's house, they're still like, why are you so skinny? And I'm like, and it really is outside influence, because I feel like I look fine until I go around my family. And then I already know they're going to be like, what, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking fine. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one time I went to a party in my aunt's house.
Somebody's There's an echo on somebody's phone.
Somebody got to lower their something.
I think that's you, Akiba. Can you lower your sound?
Oh, sorry.
That's
You hear
all
me
good.
smacking in the background?
But whatever you eating, you tearing it up.
So I went to my family's party, and it's like I already anticipated. My cousin's wife, every time I see her, she has the same damn line. And I'm like, every fucking year, you know what I'm saying? Every Thanksgiving. And I was young, you know what I mean? I got sick of it. So she was like, oh, you still skinny? I was like, next to you, anybody skinny, Damaris? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of it. Like, you get sick of it.
Yeah, but you can't. But that's the thing. You can't walk into your family house and pick the biggest family member and be like, God damn, you still fat? Like,
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Look, I've been voting.
You can't be like, damn, you putting more chicken on your, like, you can't.
I do now. I make sure I do stuff like that because I've been bony my whole life, and people take
Oh,
shots.
you bony. You're not
they
you
say-
not with you with curves, Corey.
No, I ain't got no curves. I ain't got no curves. But people, they say whatever they want to say to you when you thin and you skinny, whatever they want to say in any type of setting, and they think it's okay. So I don't pull no punches. Like if you say something crazy to me, you better be looking your best. I'm telling you.
Female.
Male or female.
Yeah.
I don't care no more. Because the main ones used to be the big chicks. They feel like I'm a big girl. Like it's almost like you can't really say nothing back about me. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna make your big ass cry. You better leave me alone. Straight up. People, it's a sickness in society. People feel like if you, especially being a man, like if you're a man and you thin, it's almost like you ain't as much as a man as other men. Like it's weird.
Oh,
People
wow.
gotta be checking some shit.
I've
Yeah,
never heard that perspective. That's
it
interesting.
is. It's real. It's like people, niggas will size you up. Like, oh, he thin, he this or whatever. Women look at you a certain way, like, because you thin. It's crazy. It's really weird. Thank God I got some height.
What's your height, Corey?
I'm 6'1".
Okay. I heard a 6. We good.
You know that, Corey?
I heard a 6. We good. No, not in person.
Okay. But you haven't met Latoya?
No.
Not in person.
Oh, yeah. So you know that. Okay. Yeah,
Soon, hopefully everybody will see. Okay, so Akiva and Corey, I wanted to ask y'all something that I asked Toya. Do you think, in general, we put ourselves out there in public forums and unrealistically expect not to be judged? Like we put our selfies out, our workout, and then we get mad when people are like, "Oh, you whack, or you ugly, or you skinny, or you're this, or you're that." Do we really?
I'm not being picky, but I really think we all know what society's like. So I think big people put themselves out there like that. Like I'm a skinny guy, so if I wear regular clothes, people are like, "Oh my God, you so skinny," whatever. Me knowing this, you're not gonna find like no pictures of me with my shirt off, like nowhere. Maybe one. You know what I mean? And it's a certain angle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. So
Corey
like,
knows the angles.
if I know that, if a woman is like Lizzo's size and she like shows her ass, what do you expect? We know what society is like. We know what society is like.
Yeah, I agree with that, Corey. I think that they can be really vicious on social media. I mean, they don't even care. It could be a 1-year-old child and they're going in.
People don't
care. So when you put yourself out there, you just have to expect the worst. That's what I do. I expect the worst, and then when I get compliments, I'm like, okay, I did something there, But people are ruthless because they're hidden behind the computer. I bet you they wouldn't say it if they were in person.
I get it myself on Facebook. Chicks will hit me up in a second, like, "Oh, you cute, but you skinny as hell. You so bony. Are you so?" It happens now. That's how people are.
Well, and I think this is the reality. People, a lot of people are unhappy with themselves.
Right. That's
So social media gives you the ability to position yourself above someone else.
I agree. So
whether that is, giving comments, saying what you do and don't like about what somebody wearing or even doing. I mean, my opinion about Lizzo at the end of the day don't matter because, Lizzo living her best life. Literally. It's just kind of like at the end of the day, social media just really allows everyone to have the entitlement to project what they think someone else should be doing. And I think that's why it's so important that you use social media, you use it with a purpose and not for validation. Because if you're looking for social media to validate who you are, you're going to be sadly mistaken quickly. But if you're using it, for business purposes, if you're using it to, for whatever reason it may be, if you're intentful in doing that, then you can stay away from, feeling the residue of the hatred that lives in our crazy ass society.
And getting older helps too. Because you hit a certain age, you're like, I don't give a fuck with nobody.
Man.
I done made it this far.
Hey, those are people who have MySpace. The people who have MySpace don't give a fuck about social media.
I had it. I'm telling my age now.
I wanted to address this comment. Kim Hicks says, "Wow, women already deal with self-esteem issues, so we don't need to push people deeper into depression. There are so many things that contribute to weight. Now, let me ask you something regarding that. How responsible are we for someone else's depression?
We're not.
Should we be mindful? Should we be mindful?
If you know something's wrong with a person, they're
Yeah.
depressed or they're going through something, I think it's mean to like, you know, be mean-spirited towards that person if you know. But if we're speaking about things in general. On a social platform, then I mean, I can't be responsible for what you're going through. You know,
Well, I think you can be responsible, but I think it's just out of common courtesy. I think the whole world would be a better place if everyone was respectful. You know, because people, they just feel like they could say whatever out of their mouths.
Yeah.
Right.
They talk down on people, but really, you know, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You know, to be a good person. I mean, that's how I live. I live by, you know, I'm a stand-up person. I'm a good person. I treat people with respect. And if the whole world went like that, I mean, we wouldn't have to worry about these issues.
Well, and my personal belief of it all is that every single person deals with some level of whether it's depression, whether it is insecurity, whether it is uncertainty. Life is difficult. So even when you think you got your shit together, something will come and humble the hell out of you really quickly.
Absolutely.
It's a pandemic.
Right, exactly. So I think it's very, for me, I try to be very mindful when I sit here and have conversations. We don't know what the next person is going through. They can be the best looking person. They can have their hair together. They can be what society says is perfect. And at the end of the day, they can be the most miserable, unhappy human being. So when there are people who actually express that they are suffering from depression and anxiety and so forth, absolutely, those are the people that you want to have a different interaction or dialogue with. But you got to keep that same energy when you're dealing with people who you don't know that's dealing with shit, because those are typically the people who need the help the most because they haven't actually expressed it to anyone. So I agree with Akeem, but shit, if you treating people consistently well, then that should help eliminate, you know, mistreating anybody.
Yeah. I mean, but see, the fine line is like people are going to have disagreements. We're all going to make comments about things. So it's like,
oh yeah, we're human.
So that's the thing. It's like you don't want to be mean, but everyone isn't going to like everything. They're not. Everyone's not going to like everything, and I mean, I feel like in public, it's always cool to not like skinny people. So,
agree.
My sympathy for other people just ain't what it used to be. Maybe because I'm getting older, so I'm kind of just like, you know, whatever. I've had to toughen up, so I feel like everybody else needs to toughen up.
What do you think about the saturation of? Because I feel like it's saturation, right? Before social media, we had opinions of what was attractive, what wasn't. All of us, right? Mm-hmm. All of us had our opinions. What's attractive? What's not attractive? What's too much weight? What's too much little weight? Like we all had our own individual opinions, right? Now it's like you cannot have an opinion. You better like it all, and you better like it good.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not, and you speak against it, so it's like I feel like the pendulum has swung all the way to the other side and broke off. You are being forced to like something that I don't even like, or I'm going to be ostracized.
Yeah. The rapper Common said it best. If I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean I'm hating. And people need to understand that. Like, if I don't like it, I don't like it. If a person say, I don't know, Corey cute, but he just too skinny, that don't mean that person hate me. I'm just too skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and I think a lot of times it's that simple. And it's like a group think now.
Even I was just about to say that, Corey. It definitely is.
It's like we don't like these chicks who doing this, or we don't like the dudes that's looking like don't none of it. Like y'all all collectively decided that y'all don't like these type of guys, or like, oh, now all of y'all like gray sweatpants, or like, oh, so don't none of us like eyelashes, or like, okay, now you know it's weird.
Right. It is.
I feel like society took a quick turn left when we started giving people titles of influencer. Because it seemed like when we gave that title, we have now designated certain individuals to say, depending on what their opinion is of certain things, that will determine what my opinion of that same thing is.
Absolutely.
And so ever since we did that, I feel like everybody just, if you say jump, everybody jumping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm an alien because I can't stand Cardi B. I don't like what she looks like. I don't like how she sounds. I don't like how she talks. Her rap is trash.
Oh shit! They could look, Jim. My camera.
Everybody's like, but here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, and you're from the Bronx. You hating. I was like, and all I can say is there's not one cell on Cardi's body that I want. There's not one cell in her brain that I want. There's nothing about her life that I want. But people equate fame and fortune to, oh, you must be hating.
Right.
What don't you like about Cardi B?
Huh?
What don't you like about Cardi B?
I think the following behind her is what we just mentioned, the group think, right? Cardi B, there's nothing about her that's attractive. In my opinion, she's not aesthetically attractive. Okay? Tits fake, ass fake. Don't like her tattoos.
I'm being silly.
Okay?
She's entertaining. She's hilarious.
Stupid opinions, stupid wigs. You know what I mean? Her logic, her history. There's nothing. But I think the group think is like everybody's like, oh my God, it's great. And I think
Is Sarah still on? Because
Sarah, she got a good answer.
what made her famous. I think it's that group think, because this is what I always ask women. And I'm so surprised when I run into very educated, successful women I like Cardi B, and I always ask them this. If you and your girlfriend was sitting at a restaurant and Cardi B was not famous, okay? Cardi B was not in Pepsi commercials, and she sat next to your table with you and your three successful, educated friends. If she sat next to your table, you'd want to move your table. If you didn't want to move your table, you'd be talking about your friend to your friends like, do you see this ratchet ass bitch over here? Is she really acting like that? But because they gave her fame and fortune, now she's appealing. But Cardi B on any given day sitting next to you will be nothing but a nuisance.
Well,
But this is the thing. I can agree with that, but like, it's a different time period now. So like, frankly, like, the ratchet shit is in. Like, that's gold right now.
it is gold.
Even for the educated intellectual women, because it's like, yeah,
It's
they want to tap into that part of themselves. So it's like people see themselves, I think, as being like kind of multifaceted, and Cardi speaks to the ratchet side of a lot of people and blase and that whole thing. That's what I really think.
Well, I mean, she. This is the thing with Cardi, is she caters to her audience. So her audience, to Corey's point, they like the love and they're the love and hip hop era. They love the ratchet, loud, boisterous, like in my face, like, the only way I can hold a conversation is if I'm yelling at you and I'm in your face and I'm loud and I'm not really making any sense in what I'm trying to tell you. So that's the generation that we're in. So what she's really done is she's monetized it. I think a lot of times when I see these different celebrities, Cardi B being one of them, to me it's part of their gimmick. I mean, it reminds me of Nicki Minaj when she first came out and she was all with the wigs and being crazy. Hey, Mel, and being crazy in her approach, and then eventually she toned that shit down once she got her money. For me, I'm not necessarily a Cardi B fan, but I recognize that what I like about Cardi, I like, and what I don't like about Cardi is because I can't relate to it. So that's where I cut it off at.
Yeah, I think that's basically her brand. That's what it is. It's her brand.
What's interesting to me, though, that it's like, when I'm talking about women, late 30s, 40s, things like that, and men too, right? We're supposed to lead. We're the older generation. We're the mature generation. And what I notice a lot on social media is that 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, they want to stay current. So they will take whatever ratchet circus rolls into town because they have to. It's like FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
I gotta think Cardi is funny. I gotta know money moves. Because I want to stay current. And ratchet is the new young. Ratchet is the new young.
That's
45-year-old women, 47. What you talking about? What happened? And I'm like, you're educated. You're an educated woman with a great vocabulary. How do you let Cardi bring you down to her level? And it has to be FOMO.
Well, that's where that's where it speaks volume to her branding, because her branding certainly has shifted society into I can't do the O curve, but I could spell it. But it's her branding, because it's kind of like, when bad behavior reaps all the the rewards and benefits from it, why change the behavior? So society has said that is how we want Black women of color to, be portrayed in society. So yes, let's put her on the Pepsi commercials. Yes, let's put her in positions where she can be on a pedestal and reach more people, because that's the influence level that she has now. And
I want to challenge that. When you say this is what society's dictating, I want you to clarify, because I feel like had it not been for white-owned media,
I think that's
that would not have been shoved down our throats. Had it
no,
not
absolutely. Let me say this: when I say society, society in my mind is not run by Black America.
Yeah.
So when I say society, or when I say the system, it is by white men who are in power. So yes, we're on the same page. So we don't. Although Black people, we create the culture. The reality is that society dictates what culture makes it to what, right? Because we can sit here and be all about black power, Black empowerment, but there's always this invisible glass ceiling that Black power and empowerment don't make it past. But that ratchet shit will make it far as fuck. There's a reason for that.
The cover of Vogue. The cover of Vogue.
Yes, the cover of Vogue. Cosmopolitan, New York billboards.
Hollywood films. Yeah.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is that I'm from the Bronx. I'm literally from the neighborhood that Cardi B's from. So when people tell me, why don't you like her? I'm like, if you went to the Bronx where I was raised, there are 50 Cardi B's per square block. That's why I'm not amused in particular.
It's 8 o'clock.
She was all around me growing up. So she's new to society, and she's entertaining to white girls that, want to learn, hood lingo. But I'm like, I grew up around that, and I'm from there, so I can speak about those neighborhoods. And we don't all act like that, and we don't all talk like that, and we don't all look like that, and all of us, the way out for all of us is not a stripper pole. Like, get it how you live. But I want to take the idea of, oh my God, she made it out of the trenches. No, Cardi B grew up in a loving home with a loving mother.
Who, Cardi?
She decided.
Wait a minute. You said Cardi B grew up in a what?
She grew up in a loving home with a loving mother. Oh, okay. And her mother was like, you're going to follow my rules. And she even said that she left her home because she wanted to hang out with her friends. And then she wanted to start stripping. So she didn't come from this broken home of abuse, and you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I don't like. And I guess I take it personal because I'm from the Bronx, and no, that's not the only way out. The stripper pole is not the only way out the Bronx. We don't all look like that and talk like that. And I've been through the trenches. I've done everything you think that a Bronx kid, has done, and from the criminality to the language and all of that. But it's not like, to me, Cardi B's way out was old school. You know what I mean? It's like girls aren't like using a stripper pole to escape the Bronx anymore, right? We're getting educated, and we can speak and walk and talk and walk upright. And so it was interesting to me how she was embraced. You know what I mean?
If it's not clear, you do not like Cardi.
Right. Jen said walk upright,
I don't like her at all. I don't like that white media put her on a pedestal, and that is who little Bronx girls look up to. Like, well, shit, if I go stripping, Mona Scott is gonna pick me up. I'm gonna be on Love and Hip Hop, and then I'm gonna be famous like Cardi. I think it's a very dangerous image. I think it's a dangerous image. And here's the thing: I don't mind the image if there was balance. That's my favorite word.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Girls on the cover of Vogue that came from the Bronx, you know what I'm saying, that didn't choose a stripper pole, then I'm cool with Cardi. I'm totally cool with Cardi. But it's like she represents, you know what I mean? Latina, Bronx.
So then my question for you, and I don't think that we will change your mind of how you feel about Cardi during this call. But
Wherever.
But my question for you is it Cardi the entertainer that you despise, or is it Cardi the person? Because I feel like there may be a distinction between the two. Or do you see her as the same?
I see her exactly the same. I think it's both. Do I think she turns it up so people can find her funny? You know what I mean? Like, does she shuck and jive to make herself more entertaining? Is she Samboing on Love and Hip Hop? Absolutely. I think she puts it on even thicker. But let's be clear. Before Cardi was famous, she was promoting the blood gangs. She still does to this day. You know what I'm saying? Her environment is very much, oh, look at us over here. Like, yeah, the drugs, the guns, the gangs, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So this was before Cardi occurred. That was before Cardi. That Cardi. So her as a, and again, I'm from the Bronx. I knew girls like Cardi. I couldn't stand them then.
Okay, well,
Cardi,
so does that make sense then?
Personally.
Cardi was the one in our crew who think that she was gonna call me out my name and use bitch as a term of endearment. She's that girl. And I didn't like her then. So I'm certainly not gonna like her now in a purple wig.
I got nothing. I mean, so listen, we all like who we like, and we don't like who we don't like. That's fair. And
it's not the ratchet thing. Like I said, you know, my favorite song in the whole world is "Real Nigga Roll Call" by Ice Cube and Lil Jon. So I think it's ratchet. You know what I mean? As they come. I like trap music. But it's just I don't like what she represents on a large scale. Like there's no balance.
So what does trap music and all of that stuff represent on a large scale then?
It's ratchet, but they're not give me a trap artist that they're shoving down our throat as the epitome of someone who made it out of the South Bronx and is female. Give me one. Can you give me one?
So no, I'm just asking. I'm not knocking your opinion. I'm seeking clarity and understanding. So if what Cardi represents and the negativity that she represents, it's not the negativity that you have a problem with, it's the fact that she pretends to be somebody who she really isn't. Is that really it?
No, I think she thinks she's who she is.
No, I just said that's exactly who Cardi is. Like that's how she turns it up, because it's like the more of a buffoon you are, the quicker white media will put you out there. So she's definitely gonna turn it up. You know what I mean? I don't think that. Back in the Bronx, yeah, she was running with the blood gangs and getting into fights. There are YouTube videos of Cardi, and people forget Cardi's been around for a couple of years. She had 1 million followers before Love and Hip Hop, which is why Mona picked her up. But let's be clear, she was very adamant about her stripper life and her drug use and her blood gangs way before Mona was like, you are like the ratchet queen. You're perfect for Love and Hip Hop. Prior to that, so that is who Cardi is. But she turns it up for white media because the more monkey ass fool you act, Josh and them are gonna be like, she's great. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so moving from Cardi.
Yeah.
Let's get away from Cardi.
But hey, I'm from New York. I can't knock a hustle. Get it how you live.
But I'll say this though.
What upsets me is there's no balance.
I agree. And
whose responsibility is it to create the balance?
Wait, what?
We don't have that power right now. We have the power, but we're not going to use it because we can all support independent artists that are conscious female rappers. We know they're out there. But we don't use our power, so it's like we're at the mercy of the people who do have the power.
I don't think we're at the mercy of the people that have the power anymore. Only because there are so many different platforms for artists to get their stuff out there uncensored, without needing the backing of the powers that be. I mean, there are plenty of people through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to name, that if they get a following, they get a following. If we say we rock with them and we put them on to the people that we know, you know what I mean? So it's not the same. Like, I need an A&R, I need this record executive, and without this person, I'm not gonna make it. That's not the case anymore. We are open up to the world. So to say that we don't have an influence or we can't create that balance, I think that's limiting the power that we have as influencers, as artists, as individuals, as people who care about what is seen out there.
Remember what I said, we can, we don't, and we won't. We can. There are millions of us. We are millions and millions strong. But how many independent artists are following, you know what I mean? How many independent artists have a Cardi B following if they can't get on Jimmy Kimmel, if they can't get on the cover of Vogue, if they can't get on Jimmy Fallon, if Ellen DeGeneres isn't, you know what I mean, shucking and jiving with them on her show. You know what I mean? They'll never have the power. We have the power. We have all the people that are following Cardi B could follow, what's this girl's name? Rhapsody. Easy. Right. Because we all spend the same amount of time on social media, but we won't. It's not that we can't, we won't do it.
So do you think that we need
power with these machines now?
Do you think it's about getting the stump of approval by white people is what you're saying?
Say that again? You get people
the stamp of approval by white people.
To be on a huge, a global scale, yeah, Whitey has to give you the pass to be on a global scale. But you can stay independent. There are rappers and artists that are independent throughout their entire lives, and they have a following. You know what I mean? They have a click following, and you know what I'm saying? But it's like they'll never be as big as a Cardi B because Cardi B is being shoved down your throat. Everything we watch, every time we go on social media, we turn on TV shows, she's there. Pepsi is pushing her. Have you seen Rhapsody? Have you seen Rhapsody pushing Pepsi? As conscious as she is, as dope as she is, as talented as she is, as many years as she's been in the industry, you'll never see Rhapsody selling Pepsi. Why? Because she's not twerking and ratchet and talking about blood gangs and stripping and doing drugs and drugging men and prostitution and how prostitution is okay. So Rhapsody will never sell Pepsi. Ever. But Cardi B is. And Cardi B admitted to being a prostitute, drugging men, and taking their money. She literally said this out her own mouth. And now she's pushing Pepsi. So what does that say? What does that say to us?
Right. No, I agree. What's going on, prisoner?
Simeon. We say prisoner. What is it?
I'm prisoner. Hey, I'm prisoner number BESIMBOLIC.
Those are not numbers, sir. Those are not numbers.
Oh, okay, Mel. God damn.
To a question for you all, right? You all said that as far as the criticism you all get as far as being small, right?
Yes.
So how come? Okay, Drea didn't get the same criticism. Then what's the girl?
Lizzo.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
How come Drea didn't get that same type of criticism?
Alicia, because there's mainstream attractive, even though people are in denial about it. There's mainstream attractive.
Well, and I was gonna say, and who's to say that she didn't?
Well, I mean, I don't know because I don't follow, but was it on social media?
What did Drea do?
Jen, can you explain what did
Diddy had a virtual dance or fundraiser on his Instagram for many, many hours where he was raising money, right, for first responders of the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. And Lizzo came in. Different celebrities were coming on and dancing along with Diddy. And Lizzo came in and she was twerking to a song with a lot of curse words. So Diddy was like, hey, wait, let's stop it. And then Lizzo was like, oh, okay, my bad. You know, play something that I can dance to. So when Drea came on later on that night during the virtual fundraiser, she twerked as well. But people were saying that it was wrong for Diddy to stop Lizzo from twerking if he didn't stop Drea from twerking.
Was it because of the music and the profanity, or was it because of her dancing?
That's what Diddy said. He said
because there was a whole lot of ass.
I stopped it because the song was really, really bad. But then people were saying, but Drea was twerking to back that ass up.
Right.
So they were family friendly either.
Yeah, and I will say, because I didn't watch the whole dance-a-thon, but when Lizzo was on Diddy's IG Live, it was during the daytime.
Yeah, it was.
It was daytime. By the time Drea came on, it was late in the evening. So, you know, just building in the perspective of it wasn't necessarily during the same time period. So Diddy definitely had little kids around with him earlier on in the day. Later on, it turned into look like a house party for him and his sons. But that was, to Jen's point, what the issue was that it appeared that Diddy shut it down when Lizzo, the larger woman, started twerking, but was comfortable when Drea, the smaller woman, was twerking. So, but that's an assumption that society made.
True.
Because of how it looked.
I don't know if he would do something like that, just because.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would. I think, like you were saying, when you look at the time of days that it is, you're talking about during the daytime, kids are watching, and then in reference to nighttime, after dark, when the grown-ups are watching,
right,
it's a little more, a little more acceptable. But
well,
I don't think
that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't think he would do it like that, especially not Diddy, and not in a public setting like that, because his whole thing came from the people,
right,
and the public, and his perception. And he's always had a good persona and perception, and people view him as the fun guy or the party guy, not the rude, mean guy, or the a-hole. So I don't think that was his intent.
But with current environment, everybody was saying you're fat shaming Lizzo. You only stopped her because she was fat, to bring you up to speed, Mel. So that's what happened.
Okay.
Well, I can play devil's advocate and say, don't nobody want to see all that doo-doo shaking. I said I could play the devil's advocate. I'm not saying.
Okay.
How you gonna say you're gonna play the devil's advocate the day after Easter?
I said I could play the devil's advocate.
So,
well, I mean, but it's a good. I mean, it's some people that's some people's opinions as well.
right.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see who wants to. I've heard those comments, but who want to see Lizzo twerk like ew? So it's real. It's true.
Jen, you want to read some of the comments?
Huh?
You want to read some of the comments?
Oh, y'all got comments?
Yeah.
Let me see. See if I can see something.
Sarah's saying society and this lame ass politically correct culture looks for anything to turn into an issue, even if that's not the case. Alicia's saying he should have kept it consistent. The songs were both bad songs, and what you do in the dark happen in the light. Keep it consistent.
Well, okay. So
He should keep it consistent, whether it was daytime or nighttime or songs that were cursing. He should have kept it consistent.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, nah.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to. First and foremost, this goes back to the whole point of I don't have to do anything. So let me start off there. And what I mean by that is, if I'm Diddy and I don't want to see Lizzo ass at fucking 1:00 in the afternoon, I don't have to see that. Or ever. I don't have to see that. If by later on in the evening I decide that, you know what, Dre is a little bit more up my alley, and yes, this is what I want to see, I can choose that. I think that goes back to the whole conversation of people don't even allow you the right to choose between what you do like and what you don't like. And it's not necessarily even about fat shame and shit. It could just simply be Diddy didn't want to see that shit when she was doing it. I know when I saw it, I didn't want to see that shit. So,
yeah, I was like,
the difference, and I'll say this, Drea, in comparison to what each other was wearing, Drea had on way more clothes than Lizzo even had on. So when we're talking about Drea twerking, she twerking in a pants jumpsuit. And Lizzo, I didn't even see her head until Diddy told her to stop, and then her face popped up. So
let me ask you this, Toy.
It was like, who, me?
Hey, it was like this. Huh?
that's exactly what I was like.
Hey, Toy, do you think that people who are complaining are actually trying to because they know, like if you look at the whole situation, right? And people who normally complain, they don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? So you think they're just trying to put it off on Puffy?
I'll say a little bit of that, but this is what I will say. If Drea did not exist, right? If she didn't come onto Diddy's thing, this would still be conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mel got
This
on
would
a
still
doctor
be, people would still be trying to say that Diddy fat shamed Lizzo, and that's why he told her to stop twerking. So at the end of the day, Diddy, the only thing Diddy could have done was let Lizzo twerk, and then people would be complaining about Lizzo twerking.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You can't criticize anybody on social
Right.
media.
So it was like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. We
Yeah.
have literally removed choice from society. Like you don't have a choice to do anything other than what society tells you what you were supposed
Right.
to do.
Like you're supposed to choose for us. And that's not, you're supposed to still have the freedom of choice.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
we
you're
locked
supposed to be able
up.
to choose for yourself.
You said we locked up.
No, we're not. We're not locked up. We can
Hey,
still go
Mark,
to the
I seen your
store. We
cousins
can still
out here.
take a
They
walk.
ain't locked up. They outside on the streets right now.
Boy, I was out on Madison Pulaski just driving down, coming from the store. Man, it was the first of the month. Marks was out there buying drugs, everything. You would have thought it wasn't no COVID, nothing.
Listen, people
First
are out
problem is
there.
you on Madison and Pulaski.
Now
That's
I said I was
probably
driving.
what-
We
I said I
we
was
are
driving
going to be-
through.
We are going to be quarantined for a minute.
Oh yeah, y'all better get used to it.
What do you guys think about quote unquote Black Twitter and how they kind of like they're a wave of what's right and what's wrong?
I never understood Black Twitter. Like,
I still don't understand Black Twitter.
Huh?
I still don't understand Black Twitter.
I
I just know Twitter.
don't even understand what is going like. What is Black Twitter? I hear people use that a
I
lot,
agree.
but what the hell is Black Twitter?
Just black people trying to have something to say.
Well, this is what's funny to me about Black Twitter. It reminds me of like when I'm watching CNN and they give these Gallup polls, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people that they are surveying to get this information?
Yeah.
So one thing about Black Twitter, I'm like, who the hell are these people who be pushing this movement forward? Like, where did the first tweet begin?
That's what
and where they getting their stats from on some of the stuff that they're talking about.
Yeah,
It's the people who chime in at any given moment.
I just say Black Twitter is this fictitious thing that we give power to. We can actually shut Black Twitter down if we actually acknowledge it for what it is, and it's just a group of people with the same opinion. That is it. That's all.
Well,
The same
clearly
opinion.
we can't shut Black Twitter down, just like we can't impact who likes Cardi B and who doesn't like Cardi B, right? It's one of those things where that's going to exist no matter what, because
It's
we
the
don't
same
have
people.
the power to shut the Black Twitterers down.
The people who are giving
Twitter can shut down Black Twitter, but we can't.
First, let's clarify. Let's clarify. More than likely, it is not Black people running Black Twitter. Let's just clarify.
Oh yeah,
Fake accounts.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Fake
That's
accounts.
a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Let's clarify that.
It's some little rich white boy somewhere running Black Twitter, and
Absolutely.
but Black people are the face of Black Twitter, where he's making the money off of it.
Well, that's because
Black Twitter isn't separate from Twitter. It's just a collective, allegedly,
Yes.
of a bunch of Black people who have the same opinion, and they usually speak on Black issues and Black artists. Say like if Gina Rodriguez says "nigga," then like 500,000 Black quote unquote Twitter account holders will say whether she should be saying "nigga" or not. So it's not Twitter.
No, and I'm not saying that it's separate from Twitter.
No, I was addressing Simeon because he was.
Okay.
I had no idea what Black Twitter. I keep hearing. I'm like, what the hell is Black Twitter? Well,
No, I was just saying that.
Explain it to me.
No, what I was really saying, Jen, is it's probably some rich white person that funded it for the Black people, and
There's no-
somehow.
It's no,
Oh,
Simeon.
I get you.
Right.
Yeah.
Help him
My
out,
bad.
Jen. Help him out.
My bad.
It's including just a bunch of Black
Don't
people.
do me like that. Don't
Yeah.
do me like that, quarantine T. Don't do that.
We listen. Look, because this is the thing. In theory, right? We assume.
Okay, I'm learning. I'm still learning freaking these apps too. If it wasn't for Twitter, I'd be lost.
But I'm just gonna say we assume okay, behind anything that is disruptive to the Black community, we cannot assume that we are the only ones in the midst of it. So when we talk about Black Twitter, we cannot believe that we are the only ones fueling the fire of the conversations. We can't.
COINTELPRO?
Huh?
COINTELPRO?
I'm just saying we can't believe that. So excuse me. So when we say Black Twitter, we're defining it as Black Twitter. But it ain't really Black Twitter. To Jen, your point, it's Twitter, right?
It's Twitter.
So we get in like right now. If I want to catfish the world and take on a different persona, I can do that from the comfort of my own home, and you ain't got to never know who I am. The Black Lives Matter shit for the longest was not run by a group of Black people, as quiet as it was kept. So
I will say this though. The reason why Black Twitter exists, even the catfish pages, and you know why there are Russian and pretending to be Black people and white people and starting, you know, race wars, is because we as a culture are very, very sensitive. And I can throw out a meme that says white girls give better head than Black girls, and I will have 500 comments from Black girls berating white women. We are all we need is a nudge, right? All we need is a little nudge, right? Yep. And then it's 500 comments. What bitch? What bitch? What bitch? What bitch? What? What bitch? What bitch? What? White women? What? You know, and I know, and that happens a lot. But if you have half a brain, you look at these posts and you're like, who's making up these statistics? Who's making up these? Who is doing it? Do we really sit around thinking about, you know what I mean, these type of things? We don't.
Exactly.
But we become incensed. We're like, who said what about white women? Wait a minute. They do better. What? It's you know, so Twitter, do I think all of them are Black? Absolutely not. I agree with you, Toya. I mean, it was discovered, right? Mark, did you send it to me or did I send it to you? That country in Africa where they were hiring Africans for a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
White supremacists. Like there was a compound
in Ghana.
In Ghana, there was a compound where they were hiring, you know, people to pretend that they were white supremacists and start, you know, shit on Facebook specifically. You know, so it's not all Black people, but unfortunately, we're easily nudged. We're easily set off. Like
we're very reactionary, people.
Very, like we don't take, you know, and it's like I see these memes. I've seen these memes like, oh, Latinas are blah blah blah, or Black women are better than this or what. And I'm like, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking the bait. I don't care. You're not gonna move me. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not doing it. Like one time I had to jump in a debate where I was like, you know, these quote, I don't know if they could have been catfish pages, but these like Mexican chicks were like, you know, berating these Black women, blah, blah, and I'm like, look, we're not all like that. Don't believe the shit you read on here. We don't know who is behind these accounts and these. It's like there's no voice of reason. They're just war. Like no one is taking a minute to say, listen, I'm not like that. Stop believing the bullshit. So it's like it's powerful because we're so easily outraged.
We are. Well, no one has fact checked either. So it's like we are. I mean, think about this. We've had a conversation about what Diddy's intention was without Diddy, right? But that is how we operate as society, is that we don't really care what the truth of the matter is. If it's worthy of conversation, we're going to conversate about it. And especially for us Black people, we like distractions. So it's so much shit going on in the world that matters, like really matters. But we will spend an entire day debating on Beyonce versus Sierra. We'll spend an entire day debating over stuff that is trivial, things that don't progress us as a people, things that don't make us smarter or wiser, more knowledgeable, can put food on the table, can help educate our children. We do not spend a lot of time in that arena. We like entertainment. True. We like to talk about things that at the end of the day don't save nobody from nothing. And part of that, and I'm not saying it to judge, I'm saying that in the reality is that because we endure so much, we're looking for outlets. And when we find outlets, how we end up communicating is through all the anger and frustration and disappointment and hatred that people experience. And so we find ourselves projecting that on other people using, you know, platforms such as social media, because this is the only place in which people truly feel like they're being heard. This is the only time I get to really express my opinion, and motherfuckers actually listen to this shit.
People are coming. I will have 50 people interacting with me.
Exactly.
Whatever. And
You sound like
people
Harriet
are
Tubman
very-
right now.
people are so influential too.
You said I sound like Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, people are so influential too. Just like how Jim was saying earlier, like you get a group of people, the more people think one way, then people are just gonna follow. So then it just becomes a thing, it becomes a domino effect. And I think that's how Black Twitter came around too. Just a bunch of Black people, they started thinking one way, then other black people caught on, and it just went out of control.
So we need to shut Black Twitter down. Ah, I'm just joking.
They can't benefit you in a way.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah, they can.
Yeah, because they definitely with even when it came to Tyler Perry's The Wig, they pushed 26 million people to go see. Well, I'm not.
Oh, that
But at least
weird.
pushed 15 to 20 million people to go see to go on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Well, they're the reason I saw it. The backlash that Tyler Perry got, no lie, is the reason why I watched A Fall from Grace. I wouldn't have known about that movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and this is
Exactly.
the funny thing. The funny thing about it
I
is
loved it.
that
I loved it.
I enjoyed it. And the funny thing
I thought
about
it was a
it
good
is,
movie.
because they set my expectation of how bad the wigs were, it didn't bother me because I already knew the wigs was bad, so I could watch it and enjoy it. But what I was gonna say, but what's so funny
You
about
get
it
the
all
editing.
is that the same people who felt the wigs in a Tyler Perry movie were a travesty, even though he's been consistent. Hair is not his concern. He don't give a fuck about what the hair on his actors look like.
No,
Never
he
will.
don't.
But
He don't.
but well, I'll just say this, but those are the same people that if Tyler Perry walked into their place of employment and said, "Do you want to come and work at Tyler Perry Studios?" They would be in his car before he make it back to the car.
Oh, I said that on Black Films Rock in Mark's group, and I caught hell for it. I caught hell.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh,
Toya.
struggling
So
hard,
they'll be like,
and it started a war."
it'll be
But
like
because
meeting
people-
sunshine. It'll be like meeting sunshine on Harlem Nights. Hey, mama ain't coming back home.
But so can people be upset with his wigs and still work for him though? I mean, you don't
Yeah, you
like
can.
everything about your employer just because they
Yeah.
hated the wigs in the movie and shot him down doesn't mean
No.
the
See, there's
opportunity
a
came.
difference. Okay, Mel, since you want to come on like positive Patty,
I'm just asking. I'm just
I
asking.
gotta be
Fine.
petty. Why can't be
No.
Paul?
okay, there's a difference between having some form of constructive criticism and then just acting like you absolutely just hate Tyler Perry.
Right.
Like there were so many people who dogged the shit out of Tyler Perry, completely dogged him. So I'm not talking. So I think we are all in agreement, including Tyler Perry, that those are some horrible wigs. He said, "Listen, buy something that you can put on your head. I am not about to stop production for no hair and no makeup. Figure this shit out." He said,
Toya,
Yes.
that's and I can tell you, I toured with him for about 4 weeks. He don't hire no makeup artists and stuff like that. And I'm going
"Well,
in the
Simeon,
first day
you
looking-
ain't got to worry. You do your
But
own
look,
makeup. We all know that."
Let me ask wigs
this
be
is my
jacked
point.
up though.
This is my point, Toya.
Yeah,
That's how
makeup artists and
I learned how to do my makeup when I was on tour with them. I'm looking for the makeup artists. They start laughing at me.
Right.
And Tyler, and when I met, he said, "I pay y'all enough money to do y'all own damn makeup. I'm not paying for no makeup artists, they hotel room, for them to fly, and for me to get them a salary when y'all can do that yourself." And
I
it's
thought
about the acting.
interviewed his hairstylist, Tyler Perry's hairstylist. Didn't Mark
You said what?
interview his
He
hairstylist?
did.
he's talking about on the plays.
I'm
Right.
talking about when I toured with him for a play.
Yeah, but
Right.
he
Talking about films, bro.
Billionaire.
It's the same thing. But,
But
you talking about plays, it's the same thing. His mentality is the same, whether it's a movie, a
It
TV
is.
show,
no,
or a play.
no, that's not true, bro. He hires makeup artists and hairstylists on his movies.
I didn't know. No, Mark, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm with you,
I'm
Simeon.
saying that's
I'm
not what I'm
close.
saying, Mark. Yes, he
said?
hires them for his movies.
Uh,
Yes, but I'm saying whether it's a movie where he got a hairstylist and all that stuff, his main concern is the actors, the delivery, and the telling a great story.
Oh, okay. I see.
So if somebody come in there with a jacked up ass wig on, but they kill a scene or it's a great scene, he ain't looking at your damn hair. He's looking at what's coming out your mouth and your expressions and how people are gonna accept and gravitate towards that performance. That's what I'm saying.
Well, this is my thing about Tyler Perry, and I think this speaks to how bipolar we all are. And when I say we, I'm not including myself. We sat there and celebrated this man when he opened up Tyler Perry Studios. When he stood up there on the stage at the BET Awards and he talked about, building his own and doing for self, we applauded him. Mm-hmm. When we learned how he did it, we have a problem.
And how did he do it? Or did I think I missed that on Black Twitter.
He did it by approaching his project. No, he does it just from reading about Tyler Perry and hearing the people that work with him. He does it by approaching his projects as independent projects. Absolutely. Knowing that I'm going to shoot it for X amount and I'm going to make Y amount. Yeah. So he's not trying to invest $5 to $10 million into a project. I mean, from watching Mark's Lives and the people that have worked with Tyler Perry directly, he has a formula. And his formula is what leads him to profit. So, so it's kind of like we prematurely celebrate without having context. And so we look foolish because we sit there and we want to celebrate the output, but we don't want to understand how one actually takes action.
I do not trust the Black community.
You said what?
No,
I love you for a minute, and then
I'm just saying. And I'll just say this.
I'm just keeping it real. I cannot.
Why?
Because you know what? Because you cannot trust the Black community. Because today they will love you, and tomorrow you will be bad. So yes,
let me get this straight, because clearly I've been living under a rock. So Tyler Perry opens this studio. We celebrated the fact that he opened the studio, but then we learned that he runs his budget or his films on a shoestring budget, and that's how he was able to open the studio. And then we got mad about that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Why do people get mad?
People are mad because they're talking about the quality of his wig. They're talking about the continuity. They're talking about.
Don't watch his movies.
And like he said, they're mad because he said he writes all his own stuff and he'll only produce his stuff. Like people got mad, but they're getting mad at the same person they've been watching for the last 20 years and that they've been supporting. Now they want to get mad at him. But it's like people are fickle, man. They pick and choose. It's like playing double dutch. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be in now. I'm gonna jump out. I'm in. I'm jumping out. And they have to stop doing that. You're either gonna let people be who they are or you're not. But you have to understand that they're not going to always dance to your tune,
right?
Because they're their own individual.
Well, right. This is the thing. Tyler Perry fans were unbothered, unwavered.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
They did not care.
And he got enough of them. He got enough. That's why all the Negroes
they have
crazy
parties.
My mama called me up.
That's why all the niggas are talking crazy.
So really what it comes down to is if you have a following, your following is loyal to you. Everything else around them is noise. And Tyler Perry knows that. He don't care. We can sit here and be like, oh, I hated that movie. Tyler Perry ain't even gonna lose sleep over that because he knows his audience. He knows who he's writing his films for, who he's writing
for every one person that don't like it, there's 20 that do.
Listen, he got the church folks on lock. Our aunties, our grandmothers, our mothers.
He knows if he branch out to the overall the masses of the Black community, and if they come out, the masses come out and support one of his fans. Again, if he knows that if something happens that the masses don't like, he does anything, he knows that these people are going to betray him. But he has that lock-in audience that's been with him for over 20 years.
Absolutely.
All they got to do is say, Madea is coming back one more time. Everybody going to see it.
Madea is back from the dead.
Check this out.
Medea died?
We got questions?
Yeah,
Did Medea
Sarah,
die?
No, Medea ain't die.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
so Sarah said, but bad hair and makeup can be distracting from a performance, so he should maybe take it a little more seriously.
Well, that's the first of all, hey Sarah, hey. So as a filmmaker, well, just I want to say filmmaker, as a consumer, absolutely agree. And I will say for myself, I don't overindulge in all things Tyler Perry because I don't feel I have to like all his work, and I don't necessarily like all his work. Again, as a creator or a creative, you get to dictate what you care about. Period. And because he has found success in his own formula, in his own blueprint. Again, going back to my comment earlier, when you are rewarded for doing certain things, there is no incentive to change. People, he can have bad wigs, he can have lack of continuity. His stories ain't even got to make the most of sense whatsoever. But his viewership is still there. There's no reason for him to make any changes. Now, the moment that people stop watching, the moment that his profit and his dollars stop making sense, then just maybe he might make a change as far as hair and wardrobe, but there's no reason to for him. So I think that's the thing is like, I totally agree. When I think about films, Mark knows that's his first AD. I'm over his shoulder trying to make sure that continuity makes sense. But not everybody's going to approach their project that same way. So kudos to Tyler Perry for figuring out the matrix and really maximizing that shit to his best potential.
I don't even get the conversation around it because people who have followings have followings. Like people who like Quentin Tarantino films love Quentin Tarantino films, and there's some people that can't stand Tarantino films.
Agreed.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And it's like Quentin Tarantino doesn't care.
Nope,
Well, that's the conversation, Mel. That's what we said.
But I'm saying I don't get why people get upset at Tyler Perry's. Like I don't even know about the bad wigs because I really don't watch the films. But I'm not upset that he has bad wigs in his films because it has no effect on me. Like I don't get why people get so up in arms and worked up over the fact that he has bad wigs and he uses a shoestring budget so that he can maximize his profit and open up this thing. Like, why are you even mad, bro, when you don't care about his work? Like, you have no vested interest in his work. Why?
I wouldn't be mad because we all would do that. So we all would do that. And so if we could spend less and make more, I don't care who you are or what you say. If you could spend less and still have quality and make more money, you would jump all over that, right or wrong.
It's maximizing profits.
The thing is they're saying that it's not really of quality because of the wigs, because of the continuity.
No.
I saw A Fall from Grace, and I actually saw the script. Somebody had this script. I think it was the judge at the end. If you look at that scene, you can see his script on the desk that he's sitting at. So I think it's a service. And since it's a service, most likely people are paying for the service, whether it be through, I guess, if they're paying for cable service or if they're actually going to the movie or whatever, they want to see the quality in the movie or in the film.
But
I think that's what it is.
Well, see, I challenge that thought because what are his fans, his real fans actually saying? Like the people who are diehard,
like my mama.
Like your mama. Mark, call your mama. Put on the line. Call your mama because the reason why I say that is because when people are fans like the Beehive, like there is nothing Beyonce can do wrong, period. According to the Beehive. Now, fair weather fans, people who like us some days and not others, they'll be the ones that will see the flaw, and they'll be the ones that say, you know what, I didn't like that outfit she had on, but a Beehive. Beyonce can come out wearing with toothpaste on her nose and sprinkles on her forehead, and they will love it, and she will start a trend. And so that's why I say, depending on who will determine whether or not they see the flaws or they see the perfection. And for me, I'm not a Tyler Perry fanatic. So, you know, when I watch his films, just based off of watching other films, I have an idea of what to expect. Where his real fans are like, they excited. They're going to see all the Madea plays. They're going to see all the Madea movies. They're going to watch A Fall for Grace from Grace, and don't care about the wigs and so forth.
Hey, Toya, I got a question. Toya.
Go ahead, prisoner number letters.
Do you think Snoop Dogg was a pimp for real?
You said, do I think Snoop Dogg was a who?
Was a pimp for real?
I don't know nothing about no Snoop Dogg being a pimp for real. So what? You are silly, prisoner.
Man, that's why we don't let you outside.
That's exactly why.
That's exactly why we don't let you outside.
Try to be. Wait, man.
Somebody got to break up the monotony. Somebody got to break up the monotony. No, but I think it's real cool to have these conversations because it's a lot of this is a conversation that really should be had that's not had, but people are always talking about it in spurts and in groups, and you know, and everybody has their own opinion. But when it all comes down to it, you know, like you said, people have their following, and if it's worked for them and made them successful, they don't care what you think.
We should,
you know. So,
I mean, if you have a fan base like Tyler Perry's fan base,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If someone's not supporting you, who cares?
Right. I mean, to your point, do you cater to the people who don't like it, or do you cater to the people that do?
He understands something clearly. You cannot at all impress or please everybody. It's just impossible.
I'll be back, guys. I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah. So you can't please everybody.
How do you, Mark?
Yes.
How do you deal with, like, when you, because I remember at the very beginning when Black and Privilege first dropped, like, you got bashed relentlessly. How did you deal with that?
You see what I was doing, didn't you? Were you on my Facebook page what I was doing?
Huh?
Were you on my Facebook page?
Yes, you were posting.
He was thanking people for it. Thank you for the feedback.
Am I?
Use it to your advantage.
I was gonna say, Mark, didn't you say somebody called you a coon?
Somebody called me a coon, yeah. Yes, somebody called me a coon because they didn't understand the film. Because so it was like, what coon? Somebody just tweeted, as a matter of fact, like 2 or 3 days ago, it said they called the actors, well, not the actors, but the characters a bunch of coons. But then somebody called me a coon too. I'm like, they said, well, not me personally, but
what are the requirements?
You said
what are the requirements for coon now? I said, what are the requirements for coon nowadays? Because I know it changes.
You gotta ask
every
Black
year.
Twitter that.
Yeah.
You gotta ask Black Twitter.
Yeah, so I love the criticism, because it promotes your project for you.
Creates a buzz.
It creates the buzz.
Right.
So when I was posting that stuff, right? So people are like, "Why are you posting this stuff? Why are you posting the negative stuff? Get out of here!" Like you just, I'm like, it's marketing,
right?
I mean, Toy was cracking up, weren't we?
Man, it didn't even make sense when somebody said Black and Privilege was an oxymoron. It's like, go sit down.
No such thing as bad press.
No, trust me.
Well, no, because if somebody was like, "Oh, it's a really great movie, you'll really enjoy it," nobody gonna go see that. But if you like, "Oh my gosh," you wouldn't believe. Like, people like controversy.
People love it.
Period. People love it. They flock to it,
and they want to pretend like they don't. But again, look. I bet you all those people who criticize them. I'm going to get from there before I say this. Are you there, Jen?
I'm trying, but there was a delay.
Let me
see me?
Yeah. So yeah, all of those people who were criticizing the movie, they need to go back and watch that movie because they gonna apply those principles that were in the movie to today.
Facts.
But they don't understand it on that deeper level. That's the problem.
Yeah. So Jen, that's your question. I mean, I love it. I love the criticism.
See, but that's the attitude I would have as well. It's like, just get my name right so people know who you're talking about and where to find me.
Tag me in it.
Jen, that's how Cardi B feels too.
Yeah, she could feel that way. She could feel that way.
I like Cardi. I remember I put a post up about defending Cardi B. Oh my God.
The majority of the people that like Cardi B don't really like her. They're just going with the flow.
Well,
They don't
no. I've been liking Cardi B way before she even put out an album.
Let me tell you something. Like I said, if Cardi B sat next to you in a public environment, you want her the hell away from you. Trust me.
Where you get that from? It's not even like a physical attraction when I say I like Cardi B.
I'm not saying physical. Where are you going? I said her in general, and I said especially women. If she's if her and her best friend sat next to a group of 3 or 4 educated, well-spoken women, they're gonna be looking at the waiter like, why did you put this ratchet shit next to our table? That is the reality. But because they made her mainstream, everybody likes her. People don't really. Everybody likes the hoe until she's in your bed or dating your son.
You said what?
You know that's true.
That I do agree with that statement.
I think some. Well, let me show that.
But with Cardi B is entertainment. That's the difference.
There's the ratchet hoe is always entertaining until she's in your bed or your son is bringing her home.
What? That makes sense.
Like,
wait, okay, that's a great point. Wait, so Jen brings up a great point. So Mark, if your sons brought home Cardi B and was like, Dad, I don't know, do they call you Dad? What they call you, Mark?
You call me Dad.
Okay.
And she wasn't really famous.
And she wasn't Cardi B.
Rocky called me Pops.
Pops, okay, all right, Pops. So they bring Cardi B, but she not the Cardi that we know. She just a regular Cardi that went to what high school you went to?
She went to Inglewood.
She went to Inglewood. Okay.
I went to Tilden, man.
Okay, so she went to Tilden too. She went to Tilden. She got the same attitude she got today. And your son come home and be like, Pops, I think I love her.
You look the same and all that? Everything the same?
No, before all the money.
I'm saying
before she got a bag and fixed her teeth.
Before she fixed her teeth.
Wait. Teeth are important.
Like, no. Before she had money. She said she took her teeth off money. She didn't have much.
God.
I can't remember how teeth look. Okay, let's come on. Ask the question though.
Cardi B without the fame and money, period. Cardi B without the fame and money. Gang affiliation, just the gang affiliation, the background of prostitution, and the background of shooting. That's it.
Wait a minute, no. See, y'all throwing all that up in there. Why
that's what she is.
Go ahead.
What do you mean?
Okay.
We gave Mark, we gave you Cardi B's LinkedIn profile. That is who she is. That's her LinkedIn.
So are you saying what would I tell my sons?
Yeah.
Yes. What conversation would you have with them?
Okay. Well, it depends on who is who. Because I'm talking about with you got to distinguish between the two.
Okay, got it.
Reggie, the youngest one, I'd be like, no. She's too fast for you. Lewis,
fast.
Like Lewis, that's probably his. I don't know.
That's true. That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's Lewis all day.
Lewis, like that's his kind of.
But wait, it's not about the taste. What
like she got a mama.
How would you feel?
I'm telling you, I'd be like, where her mama at?
Huh?
I'm like, where her mama at?
Okay, fair enough. So if your son who likes ratchet women, if he brings home a blood gang member, ex-prostitute, ex-stripper to your home, no fake ass yet, no fake titties yet, fucked up teeth, you gonna like Cardi B? Are you gonna like Cardi B? Because I'm trying to prove
Man, you got to remember, man, we grew up with the folks in the moles here in Chicago. Like that gang stuff about Cardi B, that's not the thing that we point out. That matters to us, because most of us ran, you know what I mean? Like we've been around that our whole lives.
I got it. So have I. But that doesn't mean that I want my daughter to bring home a gang member who's prostituting women and does drugs. That's a whole different thing. I grew up
Jen,
right.
Jen,
Would you accept her?
Jen,
You're not answering the question.
Jen, and all of us, we have the ability to save.
What? Did you just go Captain Save a Hoe on me? I'm done. Is our hour up? I think our hour is up anyway. Get out.
That's salvation. No, I would give them the best advice. I'd be like, you know.
Yeah, you would give them the best advice against, making babies and getting married to her. I know. Any parent would. Regardless of how we grew up, we want our children to be better. So no man is gonna say, "Oh, you brought home Cardi B. Go ahead. Good luck with that."
But I'll say this: I think, in fairness for Cardi B, she married her equal. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that worked out for her. That she married someone who's similar in nature. I think.
No, I just wanted to hear Mark's logic, because he said that he liked her. And like I said, the hoe is always under your roof.
I want to make it clear. It's not, when I say I like Cardi B, it's not like it's a dislike. I mean, it's not like it's a physical attraction. I just like her. You like Monique.
You're saying you like her personality. You find her entertaining.
No. I'm not saying, like, even though I can get past that personality and look at.
So what do you like about her?
You said what now?
What do you like about her?
What do you like about her?
Big Carl.
Carl, what you cooking?
You don't like her, and you don't like her personality. What do you like about her? Now I'm confused.
I like, because I know that this is what I see in her, and we know that in all of our people there's value. There's value in her. So if you look, okay, let me give you an example.
Welcome, Carl.
Let me give you an example, right?
I'm making some salmon right now. I'm cooking.
You
so
cooking?
Listen to you guys' conversation while I flip some.
I gotta go cook.
I know you. Did you want to come in?
It's 6 o'clock in LA, so I'm making some salmon croquettes.
Congratulations, Carl. I'll be interviewing Carl on the 20th, right, Carl? So he just
y'all keep talking about hoes, whatever y'all talking about. I heard the whole part. I don't know why, but I'm in.
Whatever that's about.
So he just finished this. I'm interviewing Carl. I think next week, right? Is it this?
I can't hear you, Mark.
I said we have an interview coming up next week, right? Our interview.
I didn't hear what you said, Mark.
Our interview. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna take you out and bring you back in. Come back in, Carl. Now, Jen, let me explain something to you, okay? This is what I see when I look at Cardi B. In the rest of them too, right? Jen.
I am listening to everything you're saying. I'm typing. I'm typing to Sarah. I'm listening.
Okay. So, what was Malcolm X before he found the nation, right? So we know.
I love because that's just what I'm responding to Sarah about. Sarah said, Jen, so are you judging her past? This is not Cardi B's past. They just put a microphone in her hand. She still represents the blood gangs. She still represents prostitution and strippers. She still promotes the lifestyle. Can y'all please stop saying her past? Stop it. You can't bring up Malcolm X because he went from Malcolm Little, the thug, the fucking the drug, whatever he was doing, and he turned into Malcolm X. You telling me that Cardi B is the new Malcolm X? I'm done.
Jen,
I'm done.
that's not what I'm saying.
comparing Malcolm past and present.
I'm saying
Cardi B past and present. I'm done with you.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the potential value in a person. I'm not saying
then come back and get me when she's Malcolm X'd herself. Come back and get me, and then I'm like, yo, that shit was amazing.
That's when your job comes in at, right? You got to teach your job. You got to teach her. You have to teach your sister.
No, sir. No, sir.
Why not?
No, sir. No, sir.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you if you were in the cab, if say for instance, if you were at an event with Cardi B, right? If you had like 10 minutes and you all having a conversation, right? Just sit 10-minute conversation, and you know that you could impart some type of wisdom in her to make her change a little bit of her direction. Would you do it?
No.
Why?
Absolutely not. Because something. Look, you Farrakhan down right now. You think every gutter rat could be saved? I do not. I do not. Some people are certified. I know 50 and 60-year-olds that act like Cardi B. And here's the thing: Cardi B is fine with her life. And I'm fine with her being fine with her life, but let's stop trying to make Cardi B more than what she is. It's stupid. Let's leave Cardi. Let's leave Cardi promoting again. Let's keep Cardi with her best friend who's incarcerated. Like, Cardi is fine where she is. Why do people try to make Cardi more than what she is? Just she's happy there, and everybody's happy with her being there. Why? Like, even at the well, what about Malcolm X? You know, he used to be. Come on, we're reaching now. We're reaching. Stop. I ain't got nothing for her.
Hey.
That's how it is. All the older folks that like you know what I mean? All the older folks is like the young people are running the older generation, which is something I've never seen before in society.
Mel, she just called you the older generation. I did peep that.
Oh, me the older generation?
No, generation. Like we're supposed. Here's the thing, right? People, if you notice, people that act like Cardi, whatever, and then people grow up, right? Cardi's young,
right?
People grow up.
That's what I'm saying. She's like number 25.
Wait a minute. People change, right? We were all young, running the streets, whatever we did, sold drugs, right? We all did that. And then we grow up, right? But we had elders, right? That were telling us, even though we thought elders were lame, we had elders telling us there ain't no future in that shit. You're going to get yourself killed or you're going to go to jail. You're going to get pregnant. Leave that boy alone. We had that. If you notice now in society, we got adults that want to be down with the ratchet so bad in their 20s that they don't have guidance. So now we're fucked both ways. Now we got Cardi B's, right, dictating 40 and 50-year-old women behavior. That shit is dangerous. Like, where are we headed if the adults are being led by the youngins? Right. Where are we headed?
I agree with that to a certain degree.
I disagree with that.
At least when we
agree. It's a lot of listen, before we were all quarantined, it was a lot of grandmothers in the club with their daughters. Period. Yeah. Well, I heard. I don't go to the club.
Oh, that's what I'm about to say. How you know? How you know?
But you know what? But this is what
we see it on social media.
You see
what? But I was gonna say what I find interesting, because Jen, you said this kind of early on, that Cardi reminds you a lot of the chicks that you grew up around when you was younger. So it's like you have that personal perspective of, like Cardi, Cardi ain't a gimmick. That's who the fuck she is. And it's just, it's not something that you desire or have a taste for. And I would say I agree, and not necessarily about the Cardi thing, but I know that if it's something that reminds me of, I'm just gonna say chicks that I didn't fuck with in high school, I don't fuck with it as an adult.
But the thing is,
period.
Victoria, the thing is okay, Jen, you said that early on that you would go back to the block, right?
Yes.
And you would save those sisters back on the block, right?
Yes, the young girls, yes.
Who act like Cardi B, right?
No.
You said they act like Cardi B. You said 50 Cardi B's and they act like Cardi B.
Right, but not that. You have to understand, in the hood, come on, we are from the hood. We are all from the hood.
I'm asking
Let's stop the BS. I'm going to answer your question. Let's stop the BS. We are all from the hood. Have we all sold drugs? Say aye. Have we all ran guns? Say aye. Have we all drank? Say aye. Have we tried smoking weed? Say aye. We've all been there, done that. We are all from the hood. Went to the jail visits, got locked up, got cuffed up. We've all been there, done that. Even in that environment, there was code. There were bitches that were snakes. There were bitches that were drugging dudes and taking their money. There was bitches there were scandalous bitches, even in our environment, that we didn't fuck with because we knew code. Cardi is a snake ghetto bitch, even in our ghetto. So I cannot relate. And Toya summed it up perfectly. When somebody reminds you of the bitches you didn't fuck with back in the day, you don't find them entertaining in 2020. So she wasn't entertaining to me back then, and she wasn't entertaining to me now. As ghetto as we were and as ratchet as we were, our clique didn't hang with the Cardis, but Cardi had a clique. And if you notice now, her best friend is someone who's in and out of prison, another stripper. We didn't hang with that crew. We knew them girls. We'd say what's up to them in the club. We'd say what's up to them in the trap house, but those were not our people. So you can't say that, oh, but you're from where she's from, and aren't you going to go save these women? Abso-fucking-lutely. My life's goal is to go back to those neighborhoods and reach out to the girls that want an outlet, that need a way out. But let's be clear. Them Cardi bitches are stuck like that for life. I know 50 and 60-year-old women that act like Cardi. And because Cardi's way is being celebrated, she has no room to change. She has no desire to change. Because when she's wearing her red bandanas and saying and acting like she can't read or write or speak, everybody's applauding it. And she's getting paid for it. So why would Cardi change? It's like all for naught. Right? So it's exactly what Toya said. Everybody can't be saved. I'm not Minister Farrakhan. I'm not saving everybody.
I just gotta laugh because I wanted to read the comments and I see Sarah talking about this turned into a Cardi B convo.
We always veer off into some shit that don't got nothing to do with the beginning. But
what are we supposed to be talking about anyway? I got here late.
Huh?
No, I said it's good conversation.
Yeah. So y'all want to continue or y'all want to end it?
It has to be bad. Mel, the beginning of the conversation was the Lizzo versus Drea, and do we put ourselves out there unrealistically thinking that we should not be judged? Like when we put our work out there, our pictures, our family, like do we put ourselves out there in public on social media and then expect not to be judged, and then we get mad? Like when we put a picture, and let's say somebody puts up a picture of their baby, and some people are like, damn, that baby ugly, or he look like his daddy. Like, like the whole Blue Ivy situation. Are we supposed to put ourselves out there and then not expect criticism or critique? In this current environment of social media, well, you know, they go in on 2-year-olds now. True. It's not like back in the day. So that was the beginning. Like, what do you think about putting yourself out there and then getting mad? Like, let's say like the Lizzo when she twerks and then she's crying on her Instagram literally because they called her fat.
Got it. Okay. I joined the conversation late, so I didn't know. I was just asking for clarity, like I always do.
What's your sign?
You say what? What's my thought on that?
No, your sign, your zodiac sign.
Oh, I'm a Libra.
October?
Yep.
October what?
7th.
What's your sign, Jen?
Capricorn.
Okay.
Oh, see, Jen, that's how we gotta connect. I'm an Aquarius, so Capricorns and Aquarius, we can coexist. Yeah.
January Aquarius.
February.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like you know, and I'm like, man, I'm from New York. I cannot hustle, but it disturbs me when people are trying to make Cardi be something other than she's not. Just let her be what she is. Let her make her money. Let her get her bag. Let her make the money move. But stop trying to make her something more than what she is.
Let me ask you this, Jen.
Mark says what a lot of people say, which is, why are you judging on her past? Cardi presently represents the blood gang. This wasn't fine.
No. Stop putting words in my mouth. Let me say this, Jen. Let me say this. You said let her stay where she at, blah, 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 all this, right? So what does it have to do with me not, what does it have to do with anybody liking her? Even if she's ratchet, what does it have to do with people liking her?
No, I just said that when we were talking about the group think earlier, the whole group think, like somebody says something, like somebody says, oh, I don't like lashes. Now all of a sudden 100 men don't like lashes. Like, oh, I don't like Lizzo. All of a sudden 100 men don't like thick. You know, I said, in my opinion, it's a group thing. People don't really like Cardi B, but they don't want to be left out of liking Cardi B because there's a lot of conversation revolving Cardi B. And you got to jump in that conversation and be like, yeah, I like that song. Yeah, I like when she did this. Yeah, I like when she got naked. I don't think
you necessarily have to jump in and say that. I think they just throw it in your face so much. It comes up so much. Her music pops up so much. Her images come around. And she's the topic of conversation. So it kind of like almost forces you to start liking her, to start liking her music, to start liking, you know, the clothes that she wears. You start getting used to the things that she has on. And like now you're like, oh, that's cute. Or, you know, I like this song. So it's just being influenced by the media, by, you know, people talking about, by Black Twitter.
That's a great point. It is conditioning. Like social media is the best conditioning tool ever invented. And we do get conditioned. Like things are, things are constantly being like Trump all day, race all day. You know what I mean? Now Corona all day. Before a year ago was Cardi B all day. So we are conditioned to think a certain way. So I'm like, no, by all means, like her. Just stop trying to make her something she's not.
Give an example. You said trying to make her something she's not.
It's like you're entertained by a pigeon and you're trying to convince me that it's an eagle. It's a fucking pigeon. Just like the pigeon. You just like the pigeon? Can we like the pigeon?
No. Give me an example. Give me an example of trying to make her something she's not. Outside of the pigeon and eagle.
Like what you just said. Why that's her past. People know so little about Cardi B that they don't know her blood gang of
her past.
Present.
No.
It's present.
This is what I said to you. I said no. I said this is what I said, and you jumped and said that's her past.
Malcolm X was a horrible even comparison. It was nonsensical.
No. I'm saying I'm talking about the value in the human being, the value in her.
But you don't know the value in her.
See, okay, but
you don't know the value in her. Maybe
I'm gonna.
You don't know that.
I just want to chime in let me just chime in for just 30 seconds because I think this is an example of. I was just having this conversation with my best friend. We were talking about Beyonce, and I said, you know what? I realized I don't know anything about Beyonce. I was like, I don't know if she a Christian. I was like, I don't know if she a Muslim. Did they celebrate Easter? Did they not? Like, I know about Beyonce, the entertainer, but that is it. I don't know her as a person. So I think where the differentiator for Jen is Jen, you have a personal, like, I know the Cardi B's from my block. So that's enough to give me perspective of who the real Cardi B, not the entertainer, but the real person, the character of this person is, where the rest of us don't maybe necessarily have that perspective. So like Mark can be easily influenced or entertained by it because he doesn't necessarily have that same personal connection that you might have. And I only say that because there are some things that we all experience differently that one person will be like, I absolutely love it. And another person will look at you like, well, why the fuck would you love that shit? That doesn't make sense. And Jen, you probably looking at us like aliens. Like, why the fuck does the world love Cardi B when she is all the things that society actually says that you should not be? But yet here she is being celebrated for all the things that we say we wouldn't want our kids to grow up to become, that we wouldn't want to strive and be. I don't think anybody, grows up and say they want to be a stripper. I don't think anybody says that they want to necessarily grow up, join a gang.
Some people do. I have heard young girls say that. When I grow up, I want to be I'm stripping.
What?
I've heard young girls say that. And I think what Jen's trying to say is that, they're putting her on this pedestal, right? But why are they putting her on this pedestal when she's portraying the wrong things, when she's influencing young girls to, strip or twerk or, have nothing on or maybe even get their bodies done. That's wrong.
Toya made an excellent point. Toya made an excellent point. And I'm all for people changing, but she made an excellent point. We're consistently hearing, don't be a stripper. Don't be a prostitute. Don't do drugs. Stay out of gangs. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, here we have somebody that's all of the above, and people are applauding and celebrating and defending her. And it's like, no, I like Cardi B. I like Cardi B. Don't even know why. Don't know her history. Don't know if she's affiliated. They just think she's entertaining, but so are Dancing Monkeys.
I like Al Capone.
Huh?
I like Al Capone.
You love Al Capone?
I said I like Al Capone. I like
Black men are obsessed with Italian mobsters. That's a whole different show.
I like Michael Corleone.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna like these people,
Lucas?
You said what?
You like Frank
Lucas?
I love Frank Lucas. Yes.
Okay, but you say Al Capone first.
But here's my point. See, listen to me. If I can like these white men, right? Why can't I like this sister? And all what they have done.
What sense does that even make? I cannot. Again, there is code. There is code. I'm not saying. Listen, I love a good mobster flick like anybody else. I love me some Frank Lucas and some Al Capone and some Al Pacino or whatever, right? I'm talking about code. Even in the street, she has no code. She's the girl in the group that was the prostitute. She's the girl in the group that was drugging dudes for money. She's the girl. I mean, she even said if she gets mad at a dude, she'll get a transvestite to suck his dick. Like she'll trick a guy. She can't
think about no transvestite.
She said I'm not a fighter. I will pay somebody to fight for me. Not even she doesn't know code.
Well, I want to read a comment. This is from a viewer named Sarah Sagan. She says, growing up on the south side of Chicago, I think most of us know Cardi B's. And I agree with that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we all aspire to be Cardi B. I think we all knew chicks who was extra, who was fast, as Mark used that word, who your mama was like, don't hang out with them, they blah, blah, blah. So what's interesting
now she's celebrated. Now everybody
now celebrate. Like, exactly.
Bring her home. Now she's celebrated. Well, and this goes all the way back to our conversation early on. It speaks to the power of the system and the media, because Michelle Obama was tore into pieces for really being a Black woman who was the first lady, right? You saw her on magazines here and there, but outside of like really pushing the image of like, this is what Black women should aspire for. Women in general, I don't want to say Black women in general. She was the absolute best first lady. She was the only one who actually was educated in comparison to the other ones. Right.
But she literally had to fight through all of the hatred, even from other Black women, talking about her hair, talking about her eyebrows, talking about this, that, and the other. And she had a really clean background for the most part.
She wasn't young.
What?
I'm just saying, she was too safe. I think. Whereas on the flip side, someone like a Cardi B, not to keep talking about Cardi B, but I think she's a great example of how you can take all the wrong that society says is wrong and monetize it. And really say, like, people do want to see the stripper win. People do want to see the drug addict win. People do want to see the gang members win. Because if you think about it, that's what hip hop is. Yes, it is. We have a viewer in the background interrupting this conversation. Yes, he can't cook and chat, so we will focus. I just say that because I don't want to necessarily keep talking. Me personally, I don't necessarily want to keep talking about Cardi B, because at this point, I almost want to call Cardi and be like, "So what you got to say?" But I just know for myself, growing up, Cardi was not the type of female or chick I hung out with, nor was she the type of female that I was aspiring to become. And I made some poor decisions in my early 20s. Not necessarily them type of decisions, but as a mature mid-30s woman, I do recognize, going back to Jen's point, that who the younger generation is being influenced by is unfortunately going to have us with a generation where they think certain things are acceptable when in reality they're not. They're not acceptable. They shouldn't be acceptable. So,
and the thing that we don't see, and you're right, this is so much bigger than Cardi B, like so much bigger than Cardi B. There's an agenda in place. There's white media in place. There's systemic oppression in place. It's so much bigger than her. But like you said, she's a good example of it, you know? But it's so much bigger. But it goes back to she's everything that is undesirable. They put her on a pedestal, and she not only is convincing youth, but adults, I'm talking about women in their 30s and 40s and 50s, would not want a Cardi B under their roof. They would not. But it's like Akiba said, it's like you feel like, all right, well, let me just go along with this current, because every time I log on, it's Cardi B. Every time I turn on the radio, it's Cardi B. I'm turning on Lily White, Ellen DeGeneres, and there goes Cardi B. So it's like we get pulled into this thing. But let's be clear, she's everything that's undesirable. But now she's acceptable, and girls want to be strippers and go on Love and Hip Hop and become, you know what I mean? The gangs aren't that bad anymore, and drugs aren't, and prostitution. Hey, get it how you live, girl. Now all of this is mainstream, so it's dangerous to us, and I think it's dangerous as adults that we are applauding and going along with the circus because our youth has no balance. I don't have a problem with them ratchet chicks. I watch freaking reality shows every now and then, but there's no balance, and we're acting like it doesn't matter. As adults, it should matter to us that there's no balance. Why doesn't it matter to us that there's no balance? Why are we defending behavior?
Well, and I guess I would, my question would just be is who wins and who loses when it's all said and done? So like,
great question.
We lose.
Great question.
We lose.
Great question. Because after Cardi B, they're gonna put another dancing monkey. After Cardi B, there's gonna be another dancing monkey. And then after that one is gonna be another dancing monkey that represents us. And it's gonna be, mainstream and acceptable. So she's just
the dancing monkey before Cardi.
Nicki Minaj, female rappers, Nicki Minaj.
So what's up with all these New York rappers?
You try to. That's really what you try to bait with.
So y'all, you want to end it for tonight? You ready?
Yeah, unless it's. Yeah, I think we good. I gotta cook too.
The people made me hungry. I had to go cook while we were on here. Like
I ate at the beginning when I first started. All right, guys, this was amazing. Sarah, I don't know why you didn't come on. But thank you so much for joining this conversation. These conversations have to be had. Por favor. And as usual, I love you all. And we'll do this again tomorrow with a different subject I'll be yelling about.
Can we not bring up Cardi tomorrow? Can we stay away from Cardi tomorrow?
I know the people. Hey man, I know the people that upset her. I'm gonna bring up Monique. I'm gonna bring up Kanye. I'm gonna bring up Cardi.
Monique don't upset me.
Okay.
I feel sorry
You're upset right now. You said the word upset pretty upsettingly. Just
no, this is your first go round with me. This is how I talk. I keep telling you.
I know. I've been on IG with you before. It's all good. I'm just please pay me no mind. Of all people.
I'll be yelling about something else.
Right.
I'm always yelling about something. Rodney Perry was like, "Why you yelling?" I was like, "I'm not yelling. I'm talking. I'm yelling." I'm not yelling yet, damn it. No, every day's a new subject. Yesterday we did what we did. Ooh, yesterday was crazy. Yesterday we did God, devil.
It was yesterday we went like 4 hours yesterday.
No, 5. We went 5 hours.
Wait, at
I'll be back tomorrow. I ain't going nowhere.
We got up about 1 o'clock.
We went 5. Toya, we went 5 hours last night talking about this guy. 5 hours straight.
Simeon, she ran Simeon off.
I saw people
Hey,
knew last
she didn't
night.
run. She didn't run Simeon off. He off print more merchandise. That's what Simeon.
Right.
These symbolic masks.
What's Simeon? Okay, y'all,
Hand sanitizer.
Night, beautiful people.